Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, a unique shonen protagonist, a capable love interest, a psychotic family of spies, shonen antics, and a marriage based on protection. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. Spiraken Manga Review, episode 549. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're good and hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAK and guarantee you'll find us one way or the other. And if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, click on that bell for notification. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga review of the week. Because if you remember for that last episode, I spun that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga, and it dictated on to be that reviewing a manga that, well, it's very similar to another manga that I've talked about a while ago that I'm a huge fan of. But let's get to it. So the manga that we're talking about is one that was written by Hitsuji Gondaira, and it is published by Shueisha and Viz Media. This is a Shonen Jump title. And this was one which is very similar to another Shonen Jump title that we've talked about. It's kind of interesting that they are in the same venue, but they're both equally good for different merit reasons. This was originally ran 2019 to present. It is still coming out even though they have changed the story slightly. Not like JoJo's, where JoJo's has a completely different protagonist. It's more like, we've gone past the main story, we've changed to something else. It's still working out. There are currently 23 volumes, and it is not complete yet, but there are 23 volumes. This series is really fast-paced, comes out weekly, and there are a lot of chapters, and it is actually really fascinating seeing it go on. It is a romantic comedy spy thriller that is specifically for shonen, translation for boys under the age of 17, and its original title was Yozakura-san Chi no Daisakusen, or in English it is known simply as Mission Yozakura Family. And this is a very, well, let's be honest, it seems very similar to another manga that we've been talking about, but not really. It is a story about spies, about family, about love, marriage, and just awesomeness. And our main character in this unique series is going to be Asano Taiyo. And he is a young man who is pretty unlucky right now. His family just died about 3 months ago, and he's super shell-shocked about it. He is not good with anyone else. He's very shy. He does not want to deal with things right now. He has a scar on his face, and things aren't going well. His classmates don't understand. They're like saying, "Oh, it's only been a month, and you're still grieving about this? Why?" It's because his entire family died in a car accident, except for him, and he's had to deal with that. The only person who seems to understand and he's able to relate to is his childhood friend, Mutsumi Yozakura, who is a girl who is the most beautiful girl in class. She's super charismatic, and she really, really likes him. She is there for him to make sure he's good, and everyone remarks that they act like a married couple, and sometimes he acts like her dad, she acts like his mom, make sure that he eats, and they love each other really well. But they don't really love each other. It's like, we don't know what's going on. They're not a couple yet because Asano is so shell-shocked with everything that goes on. He's very depressed about life. So she's just trying to get him back in the motions, and they've been childhood friends for years. And things are going in the motions. Life is going as usual until the principal shows up. And the principal is, well, let's be honest, a complete and utter lunatic. Well, not really. The principal is a young man by the name of, Koichiro. And Koichiro is the vice principal of the school, and he's a little bit clingy towards Mutsumi for some reason. Like, you're like, "Hey, stop bothering her. Let's talk, shall we, Asano? I need you in my office later today." He's charismatic and people like him, but there's something really off about him. Well, after a few minutes, we find out the actual truth of what it is, and that is that, well, turns out that Koichiro is actually Koichiro Yozakura, her older brother, who has a severe sister complex. He is super overprotective over his little sister, and he will do anything possible to make sure that she's protected, which is pretty bad because he has left Taiyo alone because Taiyo's just like childhood friend, but things are going crazy, and apparently someone is going after him. So he's going to take care of the problem, make sure that Taiyo doesn't exist anymore, because he's a crazy person. And so, as he's threatening to kill Taiyo, a mysterious girl with white hair shows up and kidnaps him. When he wakes up, he discovers the truth, that this girl is Futaba Yozakura, who is the second oldest in the family of Yozakuras, a family of spies. And they're all there to protect their younger sister because she is the head of the family. And there are tons of siblings. First off, we have Futaba, who is the strongest of them all. She has super strength. Then we have Shinzo, who's the third oldest brother. He's super obsessed with weapons, and if he doesn't have a weapon in his hand, he kind of melts down. But he's pretty cool. He's typically in a trash can. Then we have the next oldest, who is Shion, Yozakura, she's a hacker, and she's obsessed with manga, and she hacks stuff. And she's just very nonchalant, doesn't care about situations. Then we have Kengo. Kengo is the fifth oldest sibling, and he is a master of disguise, constantly changing his costumes out. And then we have Mutsumi, and then, of course, the youngest sibling, Nanao, who is actually the largest of them all. He is a giant who has a bucket on his head. Why? Well, because he is a master of manipulations, and he is a medical genius who makes drugs and tests stuff on himself. So he's essentially a mutant that alters his body based on medication. And also, we cannot forget the dog Goliath. Goliath is there because he's the family dog. He's an Okami, and he's able to change his size and do things. Supposedly, he's actually a god, but we're getting too far. So the whole reason why they're there is that they want to protect Taiyo from the psychotic oldest brother, Koichiro. Not much they really can do, except for one tiny little thing. They can fight him. They can't kill him because he's family. And that's actually the golden rule of the Yozakura family, because they are a family of spies who do missions and they save the world. But they kill people, they do tons of secret missions. The one family rule is you cannot kill family. So options are: one, we can hide Taiyo, make sure that he never gets caught, and we fight Koichiro, keep him away. Another option is that he can actually marry Mutsumi, and then because he's married, he falls under the branch of they cannot attack him. That means that Koichiro can't kill him, and this is going to cause major headaches later. Well, let's be honest. Taiyo doesn't want to do it because he's got in his head that anyone who's by him, if they die, it'll be his fault. So he tells her, we can't do this, it's okay, I don't want to deal with this. And so they're just going to protect him. And then who shows up but the psychotic brother, who's going to kill them and do horrible, horrible, horrible things. But fortunately, after a whole kerfuffle and a scuffle, I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I did, Mutsumi and Taiyo end up getting married. It's very simple. There's no wedding reception. It's literally just trading rings. And if that happens, they're married in the eyes of the family, which means that they are married. And this happens, and now Taiyo is part of the Yozakura family, a group of spies. And in order to protect Mutsumi, he is now becoming a spy himself. So he ends up moving into the family mansion and going through hellish torture in order to protect his wife, get along with his family, and more importantly, get into some spy hijinks. It's a pretty different version of a spy story that, let's be honest, it's really well done. And it's very different because I love the fact that you have the overprotective brother who's completely psychotic. Like, after they get married, the first day, he breaks into Taiyo's house and tries to kill him, saying, "Oh, it's just training." It's like, no, you straight up want to kill him. And that's the running joke, is he constantly is trying to kill him. But he gets better. And as the series goes on, and as the manga series goes on, Taiyo ends up becoming more and more capable as a spy. By the end of Volume 1, he's actually competent enough to be able to go on different missions. And that's actually kind of cool that he's able to get into these missions and kick butt. I love that fact. Now, each of the family members, they're all different and they're all unique, and they all teach him through different ways. There is a running joke about the fact that when he's first training, he's not able to open up the bathroom door because the entire house is booby-trapped. It's designed to train you to be a spy, so in order to get to the bathroom, you have to hack a code, pick a door, and then get through a sensor. And he fails for a month just trying to figure out how to do this. And it's kind of funny seeing him fail over and over and over again, because also, in order to make the family survive, what they're doing is they are poisoning the family in the food. It's kind of rough, but very cool, very unique. And I gotta say, I love the art style of this, and it is different. Now, some people are saying, oh, it's just like Spy Family, where it's about a spy and an assassin living together. It's like, no, they're just a bunch of spies who are doing missions, and he is trying to get there with his wife. There are a couple of other, well, let's say, love interests, but for the most part, they're not in the equation. This isn't a harem series. This is Taiyo and Mutsumi are the main couple, and I love the fact that they are the main couple and that they actually they work together and they actually move forward. This isn't a will they, won't they, will they, won't they. This is, they're married in the first chapter and their relationship is solid. And it's him bettering himself and getting into all the spy antics. There is a wedding near later on, and it's well done. It's something which is not lazy, it's not poorly done, and I love this series. I showed this to Greta. Greta finds it hysterical. She loves Goliath, and she also loves Shino and Nanao. She thinks they're great characters. And for that reason, I have to give this manga, which is a Shonen Jump, a really, really cool. You got to read it now. This is an excellent manga that is worth buying. The art style is great. All the characters are unique and varied, and more importantly, each one has their own time to shine in the sun. You have a great story plot that doesn't get old because there is more going on than just the marriage. You have the fact that Tayo's learning how to train. You learn later on that the accident that killed his family may not have been an accident. You find out more about the spy world, and it actually gets bigger, and more happens. Also, the reason why they're protecting Mitsumi. I don't want to spoil that, but it's a big reason, and that comes across later, especially with some of the elements that are going on. And also you have a lot of running jokes, like the big one is that Koichiro is such a sister lover that like the rest of the world thinks he's nuts. And then the one thing that can break him down is whenever he hears his sister yell at him, he just crumbles down into like a little ball. Like I said, there is an anime adaptation that just dropped. It's on Hulu, and first episode looks really solid. So yeah, I really dig this series. So if you've read this or you have not, or let me know your thoughts about it. You can email me personally at Zan, that's Xan, Spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts on if you enjoy this, if you didn't enjoy this, if you thought this was too derivative, if you thought it was just similar to Spy Family, or if you just didn't like the story about that's a relationship. Let me know. Email me, zanspiraken.com. And with that in mind, let's get to the random question of the week, which is pretty simple, and that is going to be, well, what spy power would you want to have? I mean, what are you thinking about having? Would you want to have something completely dark? Would you have something completely amazing? What would you think? Which of the spy powers would you want? The ability to change shape and size and get strong? Be super hacker? Be a master of disguise? Or like with Koichiro, which his power, which I didn't even explain, which is the steel spider. He uses steel threads to do stuff. And Taiyo eventually does get a power of his own, which is kind of cool. He has a gun which fires electricity. So, yeah. Which ones are you most excited about? Let me know. Email me, zanspiraken.com. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga releases of the week. And we've got a ton of them. It's a pretty big week. So, with that in mind, the mangas for this week that were released were, and I'm just going to go in order, starting off with Yarha Pearl Harbor Descent Record, a Nier Automata Story 3, Welcome Back Alice, Val Love Volume 16, The Uncanny Carter Volume 1, or Counter Volume 1, The Tomb Raider King Volume 6, 3 Exorcism Siblings Volume 1, The Tiger Won't Eat the Dragon Yet Volume 1, Thousand Autumns Kwai Kwai the Novel Volume 4, Sword of the Demon Hunter Kijin Gitoshu Volume 4, Sword Art Online Progressive Canon of the Golden Rule Volume 1, Spy Family Volume 11, Slasher Maidens Volume 10, Shadow House Volume 6, Seraph of the End Volume 29, Sasaki and Peeps Volume 6, the light novel. An identified flying object from outer space arrives and Earth is under attack. The extraterrestrial life form that comes to announce mankind's end appears to be dangerously sensitive. Sailor Moon Naoki Takuchi Collection Volume 7, The Saga of Tanya the Evil Volume 22 of the manga, A Returner's Magic Should Be Special Volume 3, The Remarried Empress Volume 6. Reincarnated into the game as the hero's friend, running into the kingdom behind the scenes light novel Volume 1. Reborn to Master the Blade from Hero King to Extraordinary Squire Volume 2. Reborn as a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon Volume 2, the manga. Reborn as a space mercenary, I woke up piloting the strongest starship light novel Volume 8. ReZero Starting Life in Another World Volume 24, the light novel. Plus-Sized Elf Volume 5, the re-release. Parallel Paradise Volume 17. The Other World's books depend on the Bean Counter Volume 4, Origin Volume 3, Orica Volume 4, the light novel, Conjecture Chronicles, Orb on the Movement of the Earth, the Omnibus Volumes 3 and 4, Online Volume 2, The Haunting School and the Knight's Riddle, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint Volume 2, Nights with the Cat Volume 3, Monthly in the Garden with My Landlord Volume 2, Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt Volume 21, A Misanthropes Teaches a Class for Demi-Humans, Volume 2, Misato's Laundromat, Volume 2, Mega Lumiere Magical Girls Incorporated, Volume 1, The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady, Volume 6 of the light novel and Volume 5 of the novel, Magica Record, Puella Magi and Madoka Magica Side Story, Volume 7, Love's in Sight, Volume 6, Love and Heart, Volume 10, The Legend of Dororo and Hyakimaru, Volume 7, King's Proposal, Volume 4, the light novel, Jungle Juice, Volume 3, Ishura, Volume 6, Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon on the Side, Sword Oratoria, Volume 22, Insomniacs After School, Volume 5, Inside the Tentacle Cave, Volume 2, which this one, I'm surprised this is even a thing. This feels really, really just kind of, well, a little saucy. Initial D, the Omnibus Volume 1. This is going to be Volumes 1 and 2 of the original series, and it looks really good compared to the original one. They translated some new things. It looks great. It's Initial D. I'm Quitting Heroing, Volume 5. I Want to Be a Receptionist in This Magical World, Volume 3. I Want to Be a Gal Gamer to Praise Me, Volume 1. I Can't Say No to the Lonely Girl, Volume 1. How Do I Turn My Best Friend into My Girlfriend, Volume 1. Honey Lemon Soda, Volume 5. Homunculus, the Omnibus 3, Volume 7 to 8. Or actually, Volume 4. High School Prodigies Have It Easy Even in Another World, Volume 10 of the light novel. Hellsing, Volume 5, 2nd edition. Hazara's Skill, the guild member with a worthless skill is actually a legendary assassin, Volume 6. Glepnir, Volume 14. Game of Familia, Volume 3. The Executioner and Her Ways, Volume 7. The Essence of Being a Muse, Volume 3. This is a series which I do not remember talking about, and it's actually got me intrigued. I want to check it out. The Ephemeral Scene of Setsuna's Journey, Volume 3, the light novel. Enad, Volume 2, the paperback, and Volume 2, the hardcover. The Eminence in Shadow, Volume 9, the manga. The Dragon's Imperial Wrath, Falling in Love with the Bookish Princess of the Rat Clan, Volume 3, the manga. Dungeon Meshi, or Delicious in Dungeon, Volume 13. Death March to the Parallel World, Rhapsody, Volume 15, the manga. Dark Moon, The Blood Altar, Volume 2, the comic. Dark Gathering, Volume 6. The Contract Between a Spectre and a Servant, Volume 1, the light novel. It's missing, but Coffee Moon, Volume 5. Then Classroom for Heroes, Volume 1. Canine Detective Chris, Volume 2, the Shina Ibu detective investigates a haunted mansion. Cult Adventure Defeating Dungeons with a Skill Board, Volume 7. Black Summoner, Volume 1. Amalgam Hound, Volume 1, Investigate Bureau Criminal Division Special Unit. Aya Something Hide Her Feelings in Russian, Volume 4.5. Alice in Borderland, Volume 9, the manga. The Alchemist Who Survived Now Dreams of a Quiet City Life, Volume 1 of the manga Ring Ring Magic Potion. Now, this is a side-quel reinterpretation of the first volume of The Alchemist Who Now Survived Dreams of a Quiet Life in the City, because they originally released the original, but this is a different version of it. They've changed some elements, and I think they got rid of the slave aspects. I don't know, though. I'd have to recheck it out, because it is a very unique series, but digress. Then we have Agents of the Four Seasons, Volume 2, Dance of Spring, Part 2. Adults Picture Book, New Edition, Volume 1. And then last and certainly not least, we have The Abandoned Empress, Volume 7. Oh, and one more. DRCL Midnight Children, Volume 2. So these are the manga releases for the week. We had 90 of them. Which are the ones you're most excited about? Let me know. Email me, zanspirekin.com, or tweet me at Spirekin. And for me personally, my favorites, the top ones I put down, were going to be Classroom for Heroes, Volume 1. I Can't Say No to the Lonely Girl, Volume 1. Initial D Omnibus, Volume 1 and 2, Nights with a Cat, Volume 3, and Spy Family, Volume 11. And I know that Homunculus, Dungeon Meshi, and Black Summoner were on here, but these are the ones that I was most excited about, because Spy Family has been lit the entire time, has kept being fire, really well done. Initial D, if you're a car guy or girl, you'll love this. And then I Can't Say No to Lonely Girl seems like a very different romance that could be one which sells really well and is just a great story. But which are the ones you're most excited about? Let me know. Email me, zanspirekin.com, or tweet me at Spirekin. And with that in mind, before we go any further, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for checking out this podcast and listening to it. I appreciate every email I get, every comment I get, every new subscriber. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Leave notes down below, leave comments, answer my random questions of the week. And more importantly, thank you so much. I love doing this, and I'm going to keep doing this because of you guys. I'm going to keep going until I'm an old man who has to read manga with thick glasses and has to read a very thick manga that's large print. So thank you. And if you want to support the podcast, we do have a Patreon that's currently being overhauled. More information will be found out probably in the end of May, but I digress. So with that in mind, let's get to the part that you have all been waiting for, the most popular part of this podcast, arguably. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about that one, that only, Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. What is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on. What I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of 10 slots. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, that is the manga that I'm going to be talking about in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 500 and, I believe, 50. I think we're at 550 now. Can you believe it? Crazy. So let's spin and see what we're going to review the next episode, shall we? it keeps landing on 1 and 5. I think I'm going to start at 5 from now on because it's going 1, 5, 1, 5, even if I'm in the middle. So I'm going to try to see what's going on, fix this. But number 10 was landed on, and that's Okami Can't Keep It In. This one sounds really, really just not cringy, but kind of what the fuck. So we'll see what we're going to have. But anyway, as usual, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. Catch you guys next time, and keep reading